Good evening and welcome to Terrace Talk at Rotherham Slate. So tonight we are discussing everything that's happened locally in the South Yorkshire and East Midlands region for what has been an horrendous season for Rotherham United. But we'll get on to that sort of later. But first, we'll start off with Sheffield Wednesday. So their takeover has been complete. Sheffield Wednesday fans, how do you feel about that? Are you happy with the takeover? And they're not going to get the 15 points deduction. So for me, Sheffield Wednesday will come straight back up. I can't see anything else other than Sheffield Wednesday getting back promoted. They're a big club, and I just can't see now they're not getting points deduction and they've got financial backing. You look at the attendance yesterday, unbelievable, great support, and it is absolutely sort of amazing. Good evening, everyone, from Ben Woodcock. Is Rotherham talk tonight? Yeah, we're still talking Rotherham tonight as well. So there has been a charity event where it got all a bit embarrassing, to be honest with you. I couldn't believe it, to be honest with you. We've got Phil Smith embarrassing the football club in a shirt that clearly doesn't fit him. You pay 15 grand. I guess you can do what you want on it, but I think it just sums our football club up for me. I'd say well done to Kev Johnson and well done to the ex-players for coming out. I believe the score was 7-7. But the shambles, what happened at Rotherham yesterday, should leave everybody shocked. So obviously Lee Clark gave his interview, basically said he had planned to do sort of meetings with the players out of contract, and then in the end he decided against it because he's not been paid by the club. He's had no word. Looks like Tony Stewart's gone on a 4-week cruise. So the club again seems to be in turmoil. So hopefully we can get that sorted. But what are your thoughts, Lewis, on the Legends game? Did you attend the Legends game? If you did and you want to tell me about the Legends game, you're more than welcome to come on. I am going to pop the link in the description as well. So anybody wants to come on, you don't have to show your camera. You can talk about a game that you've been to at the weekend. It's not a problem. Let me just find this link actually, because I'm filling in for Tom today, who is away on business, so he was unable to do it. So I've stepped in, unfortunately for you guys. So if you're missing Tom, I do apologise. Evening, Bushy. Evening, mate. Hope you're well. Let me just find this link so I can get that to put in the chat. So did you attend the Legends game? Obviously, there was, I believe, just over 5,000, which is okay. I mean, for the level of players that you've got on show, really, it should have attracted a bigger crowd. Had it been sort of organised a little bit better by the football club, I think it would have got definitely more traction. But a football club isn't run the greatest at the minute, unfortunately. So it does leave to a lot to be decided. So I've put the link in the description. So if people are wanting to come on, this is the link. Let me know about anything really. The takeover at Sheffield Wednesday, the charity game at Rotherham, what happened with Lee Clark. Are you disappointed? Are you happy? It's a sorry state, really. I do want to praise Chesterfield, though. They have reached the playoffs. They're in the playoff final, which is fantastic, really, for Chesterfield, such a small club, to be getting into the playoffs and maybe overtaking their big, fierce rivals, Rotherham, which would be a bit of a shock. But no, well done to Chesterfield. And like I say, it just shows how far we've fallen now that obviously Chesterfield could be passing us on the way to League One. And it's just highlights the fact for me that, it's just been an horrendous season for Rotherham. Chesterfield winning 2-1 yesterday at Swindon. Did you go to that game? What was it like? I'd like to know. Also, we'll talk about Nottingham Forest. I mean, we've gone viral over on TikTok. Nottingham Forest celebrating like they'd won the Champions League. But they're actually in the virtual trophy equivalent of the virtual trophy to League One and League Two clubs for the Premiership. So this is teams that are not good enough to get into Europe, into the Champions League. Nottingham Forest celebrating at half-time like they have won the World Cup, which I found highly embarrassing, to be honest with you. What are your thoughts on that? Lewis, wonder if the takeover is happening. Just doesn't make sense for Tony Stewart to go accused during the fact that the deal from the Swiss. Yeah, I mean, it is a bit worrying that he has gone away, but there is such things as Zoom and stuff like that. So one would hope that he would still be in contact, but obviously he wasn't in contact with Lee Clark before he went, and I think that's why Lee Clark's decision not to come to the club and do what he said he was going to do because he wouldn't be getting paid. So he kind of left that one hanging, left Lee Clark hanging. I think it's disgusting after what Lee Clark has done. At least he deserves some clarity, but the football club doesn't like to give any clarity. We know that. So are you surprised? I'm not surprised. Why would you be surprised? This football club is run like an utter shambles. Let's be honest. It doesn't surprise me in the slightest. John Sullivan's in the chat. Hello, John. I hope you're well. Bushy, could the McLaren link and the Swiss investment be a PR stunt to give the fans impression something is happening and to boost season ticket sales? I mean, that is a good sort of question because obviously I heard about the McLaren stuff. I was the first to break it. But yeah, I don't know, mate. I just honestly don't know. I don't trust this football club at the moment. I don't trust anything that it's doing. It's a bit far out to make the link now because it's not really close to renewals. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's such a difficult one with this football club at the minute. And like I said, I don't really sort of trust the football club. So it could be PR. We've seen a lot of PR this season. Phil Smith's come in, tried to give a lot of PR, which has failed. But I think fans now have wised up to the problems that are happening at the football club. And I think the fact that, Phil Smith is turning up on a charity game, I think is just utterly embarrassing. And, he should be held to account for that, really devaluing players that have been legends for this football club, and he's done it by buying it, really. Entertaining from the Forest fans. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen, go over to my TikTok. It's obviously gone viral. But yeah, Nottingham Forest, I mean, they got there by default, let's be honest. They shouldn't have even been in there. They stole the place in the cup. They're only winning at half time and they're setting off sort of fireworks and stuff like that. Absolutely crazy. I have got a caller with us. Just bear with me and let me get him on. Let me just remove that so you can actually see your face. John,
Hello.
how are you, mate?
Good evening. So I thought I'd just jump in early doors, talk about I know you've got your itinerary, so whatever you need
really.
to.
I've just been chucked in last minute, mate.
Oh.
Tom let me know sort of early on today, and then there were nobody else available to do it, so I kind of said,
I'm wrapped. I'm freezing. I think I'm coming down with something, mate.
Yeah. I was like, I watched the Man U game, and then I looked at the time, and I thought, I hadn't even planned anything for this show today. So it's a bit
Here
of
I am.
of the off the cuff sort of show, John. So how are you doing, and what do you want to talk about, John?
I would like to obviously talk about one team tonight, and that would be Newcastle United. I am obviously a two-team wanker. Yeah, but I've obviously watched Bob Du's reviews. I'm very, very. I said to him, it could have been like Leeds, Burnley. I think there was a lot on the line for Newcastle yesterday. Obviously, they'd had emergency meetings midweek, Wednesday, Thursday with Eddie Howe and the ownership group. So there was a lot riding on it. It was just unfortunate for Dan that it was his team. I think we played with a more intensity that we're used to playing against. We played with a higher press. Newcastle. I don't know why. I don't know the goal. Is it Verbruggen for Brighton? He went for a little walk and decided to let Jacob Murphy whip one in, and Osula had the world's easiest header. But then we've got Nick Pope in our goal who does the same. So it's a very frustrating game if you're a Brighton fan, if I'm honest, because they had chances. They did have a lot of chances, and they could have scored early doors as well with that Believer chance as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big win for Newcastle because obviously Forest Phil were convinced that Newcastle will get relegated, which I didn't subscribe to. I still think it's Nottingham Forest. As we speak, Spurs are winning at Villa 2-0.
2-0.
So that's
massive result that as well. Massive.
Be a fantastic result for sort of Villa. Manchester United have secured Champions League football for next season after beating the Bin Dippers 3-2. That was quite enjoyable. Enjoyed that game. I think for me, that was a reason why Carrick should not get the job. We need best in class now to take this team forward. I think the second half display were a bit of a shambles. It could have ended up as well in a red card for Bruno Fernandes, who did pretty bad challenge on a Liverpool player, in fairness. But I don't think
that can get looked at, can't it? It can actually get reviewed after the game, I think.
I'm not sure. I don't think so because he got a yellow. But I'm not sure. Maybe they change it all the time, don't they?
I know. I can't keep up, pal. I can't keep up.
Won't lie, I'm a big fan of Forest being ahead in the Europa. It's forced Forest to put some reserves out in the league for us. Yeah, that's another good point from because obviously they've rested a few players for that game.
I think they've made 6 changes, Villa. 6 changes.
Yeah. So also, John, I just want to ask you quick thoughts because obviously, like me, you are a 2-team wanker. There's no official plaque that says you can't follow 2 teams.
Thank you.
I'm with you on that. But I mean, on to Rotherham. First, I want to ask you the Lee Clark situation.
Oh, God.
Tony Stewart has sodded off on holiday again, put 2 fingers up at everybody. And obviously, it said in that article that he'd gone for 2 weeks. I was told, I didn't know when the holiday was booked. I was told he'd booked a 4-week cruise. So if that's the holiday he's gone on, he's actually gone for 4 weeks, not 2, which is concerning. I'm hoping that he can use Zoom while he's away or whatever. But what are your thoughts on that? What do you think?
Well, as of 5 p.m. yesterday, he's out of a job at Rotherham United. And he's come out and said, he wants the job. So it's not new for Tony Stewart to bugger off, is it? Like he left us in the lurch for 8 weeks without a manager, and just it's just disappointing, isn't it? It's just really disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I was shocked, and I think Lee Clark's done the right thing actually by bringing it out. And I noticed the club cut some of the actual interview off the official site.
Yes.
We found out that Rotherham United don't actually like the truth or like criticism. So they'll just ban you or cut your interview or whatever they want to do. But I think it's utterly disgusting that they've done that. But I praise Lee Clark because he's actually come out to the fans and says he wants to be here.
Yeah.
He's basically said he wants the job, but he needs clarity and it needs to be hurried up. And he was going to meet the players today to let them discuss the future. But then he said, actually, I'm not paid by the football club, so I'm going to go and
Why?
see my
Yeah. Well,
family.
why would you? It's like you going to work on Monday and not getting paid. You wouldn't, would you?
No. So yeah, I think it's another bad look for the football club, isn't it? It just
Well,
doesn't
yeah,
look good.
it's poorly run. It's such a shame. And I've seen on, oh, he saved it. Yeah, I get that, but unfortunately, for me, the Tony Stewart era of the, yeah, he saved us, he's built us this amazing stadium, is getting a bit tarnished by these recent events. You can't look at like the
Look, I'll
Matt,
give you
who
this
was it,
analogy.
Matt Taylor? Sorry, carry
Yeah,
on.
I'll give you this analogy, John. Yeah. So it's like saying somebody saved a man from a he was going to commit suicide, and he said he stopped him from committing it because he took him off the thing and he saved the man's life. Yeah. But then 4 years later, he goes into central London and he butchers 8 people. But you can't criticize him because he saved someone's life 4 years ago. That's
Yeah,
in effect what we're saying. Listen, football moves forward, football moves on. Rotherham United have moved backwards for the
yeah,
last 4 years. He's not done a media interview, which is part and parcel of a role of a chairman, that you speak to the media. He hasn't done
yeah.
that. The stadium has been let to rot and ruin. I posted a picture out today that I was sent where you can see the cladding quite clearly distressed and in need of a good old wash. Just not happening. And like I said, everything surrounding the football club is amateurish. We've seen Phil Smith come on in a charity game, absolutely embarrassing the football club, in my view, and embarrassing players that have been legends for this club. And then he was the one that took the penalty. That it makes it even more embarrassing. And I just think, for me, it just tarnishes everything that the football club is trying to do. And for me, I'm a total loss with it. I couldn't care less if I never step foot in that stadium again. And that's how I feel. I will not step foot in that stadium again until all of them clowns have been replaced for me. What about you? I don't know.
I mean, obviously, it's a bit more. It's a bit more difficult for me because I want to get the children involved, going to the
Yeah.
games. Sophia obviously absolutely loves coming with me. So there's the problem for me is, and there's a lot of good which I've seen, like the moving of the seats, the help with the online, disability supporters. There's a lot of good, but then there's a lot of bad. And I'm not against Tony Stewart. I'm not, but when you're hearing he's gone away again 2 weeks for, it's just that you can't do that. We need to be arranging League Two. We need to be thinking we've got 16 players potentially that could be leaving. Who's going to be coming in as a manager? If it's Lee Clark, who is it? It's just so unknown, and I think for fans, as you say, number one, communication. We've not having any of it. Number two, what I mean, this time last year, I knew exactly how much my season ticket was going to be for the year. We've heard nothing about season ticket renewals. We don't know if we're going to have a manager. We don't know if we're going to have a new ownership group or investors. It's just like, that's what hurts the most as a fan for me, I think. Yeah, and obviously
Yeah.
the stadium, yeah, it could deal with it, like you say, a tidy up, a bit of pride. We seem to be lacking pride off the pitch and on the pitch as a team,
Yeah.
is what I would say.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Swiss will do a full takeover. I know you think they don't have the money, but my opinion is they will want their own man in. So what do you think
I don't
about?
think, looking at the thing is with these people need to not just look at the cherry, they need to look at the cake. The cake says they don't have enough money. The cherry says we can do that. And I said it on the show last week when you were talking about the investment group. It looks like they just want to have a dabble in English football from their group that they've got. Unfortunately for me, it doesn't scream that they can take over Tony Stewart. They haven't got £12 million to clear the debt. They haven't got £10 million for the stadium. That's what you're talking about, 30, 40 million just to get rid of Tony Stewart, if I'm honest.
I don't think Tony Stewart wants to go either. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
and that's the other side of the coin, because he's given it his son now. So does he want to keep his fingers in the pie? Because we've been here before with investors, and he's always wanted the final say. I've had this conversation with hundreds of people, no word of a lie. He wants to keep the buck stops at Tony Stewart, even if they have a bigger share of the investment group or however it works. Tony Stewart says yes or no as the last person. Who's going to invest into that, or who's going to say, actually, Tony, we're going to buy it out of you? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
Yeah, I agree. Our chairman and directors could be characters in Phoenix Nights. Yeah, I agree. Kimberly Ellis, Lee Clark, laugh out loud. I wonder if they'll be using us to farm our academy.
What academy?
Yeah, I mean, Kimberly, yeah, I mean, it is a good question. So obviously, they're in the sort of business of sort of moving players around academies and stuff like that. So are they trying to do that? But yeah, I'm very skeptical about it, to be honest with you. I'm very
Massive, by the way, while she's on, massive shout out. She is my friend, a friend on. I've travelled with her. Huge support again yesterday. I was up to date with all the away day travel. They all did a 1920s themed away day. So well done, Kim, and all those who travelled to the away day at Wickham. So hats off to you, Kimberly.
yeah. I mean, what I would say is the supporters of Rotherham United, the majority of them, absolutely brilliant. So like Tiny again, he was there again. Kimberly was there. Loads of people that I know was there. And to say the season we've had, and they're still going there backing them, it is applaudable, and I take my hat off to them. And like I say, I won't be going to watch Rotherham at home at all next season unless there is a full takeover. But I will go to away games. But I'm just not gonna. I just don't want to fund these people that are running this football club. I think they treat fans disgustingly at times, and people may celebrate it because it's me. But actually, until it happens to you, don't come moaning to platforms like me to get your word out, because I just won't do it. You can live and die by that sword. So, end of the day, I've asked for clarity, so people can say you've said stuff or done stuff that have gone over the line, and maybe we have, maybe we haven't. We are new to the podcast world. I'm not sitting here saying I'm perfect, and I don't regret some things that I've possibly done before, because I'm human. I make mistakes. I'm new to, as you know, John. I'm new to streaming. And this isn't my world. So sometimes I say things that can be taken the wrong way or whatever. But one thing is for sure, I love my football club. I've followed us all over the country. I've gone to Don Valley. I've gone to Millmore. I mean, I've watched some utter tribe, and I've watched, but I'll always support them. But the fact is, not to even be said what it is that I've done or supposedly done, when I'd already had a meeting with Phil Smith, who said I'd not done anything and I wasn't banned. To then say you can't put money into a charity, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't attend the game, is utterly disgusting in my view. We got.
I was just thinking that just before we go to Luke. Hi, Luke.
Yep. No worries.
I've been, obviously I've not been as long time supporter as yourself or some of the other members of Miller's Monday. Do you think this is probably up there with one of the worst seasons we've had? Because I feel like it is, if I'm honest.
Yeah, for me, this is the worst. So in one season, I have seen the worst ever manager that I have witnessed manage Rotherham United. I think he was worse than Danny Bergara, and I supported it when we had Danny Bergara, and I thought he was the worst. I think he was worse than Alan Stubbs. I think he was worse than Redfern. I think he was worse than all of them. So I've seen the worst manager. I've seen the worst gutless team I've ever witnessed in my entire life. Players that just do not care. Players that think they're actually better than they are. So yeah, answer to your question, it is the worst I've witnessed. And to be honest with you, I was here for the Booth days as well. I think this is the worst.
Oh God, yeah.
I think this is the worst ownership model I have ever seen at Rotherham United.
Yeah.
Now people will say Tony saved us, Tony did this, Tony did that. Ken Booth did the exact same, and look how that ended up. Ken Booth saved us, yeah. Ken Booth took us to the Championship. We actually finished higher in the Championship under Ken Booth. Ken Booth owned the stadium and didn't and let Rotherham United rent it. He wanted extreme rent, and reverse it, put it forward now to modern day. The exact same's happening, and just because I've seen it and called it out, I'm the one that's getting the abuse of people. But I don't care. I stand by what I say. I cannot watch my football club just sail into the nationwide leagues because some fans or the football club is unhappy with my opinions. I'm sorry, I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to call it out. I'm going to stand my ground. And if people want to attack me online, in person, they can try the best. They can do what they want. I do not care. Sorry, Luke.
It's all right. I'm hearing a lot of similar things to worst season, worst manager. Igor Tudor Spurs this season. I'm hearing a lot of that. And also when it comes to sort of ownership, makes me glad my Dorking Wanderers are owned by the great Mark White. Like, he's always level-headed. He's the manager as well, level-headed. Like, he's obviously got a bit of an ego about him, but he's not overdoing things. He's not screwing the team over. Like, where we fell off and we lost in the playoffs this week, but we lost because we've had so many centre-back injuries that one of them even had to retire. So, it was at the end of his career, Tony Craig. But
injuries, it's just been terrible injuries. On to Spurs as well. You still 2-0 up at Villa?
We are still 2-0 up. Villa have looked entirely uninspired. Genuinely, it's looked dreadful. I don't know if they've even had a shot.
Have Villa rested some players today, Luke?
They've rested a lot of players. They've just brought Ollie Watkins on about 5 minutes ago, but they're playing the likes of Ross Barkley. They're playing Maatson at left back, Tyrone Mings. Like, they're playing a bunch of players that you might have called good. Even Jadon Sancho's on. So we're talking about they're playing players that would have been viewed as good 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's one of those that they've given us a carrot to try and chase after, and we've taken advantage of it. But, you know, I'm not going to get carried away because they are currently on an attack with Sancho, but I'm not going to get carried away. We've beaten Wolves and we're beating a reserve Villa side. It puts us out of the relegation zone as it stands, but I'm not going to suddenly, take the shirt off, run around screaming mad because we've beaten a reserve team and the team that are bottom of the Premier League. So, is it great they're out of the relegation zone? Absolutely. But, you can't count your chickens. You still have to play Chelsea, an informed Leeds side, and a decently informed Everton side. So,
yeah, people were laughing at me when I said I fancied Spurs to win at Villa in the chat. But I said I think they will rest players. Forest are going to get egg on the face for them celebrations because they're going to get spanked at Villa midweek. And I'm going to be right again. I'm just going to start going through some comments, Luke, just while we're here. It's got quite a few comments coming in. I don't want to get behind with them. Hang on. 2016 to 2017 was a bad season. Yeah, it was. It definitely is in my 50 years. So he's saying it's the worst team. That anything happening with the Swiss Army watch? No, I've not heard anything, mate. I will try and find some stuff out, but I haven't heard anything significant note to write home about. Wanted to talk about the Toon, got talking about Rotherham. Massive result for Toon. Sorry, Brighton fan Dan. Your favourite Man United player did well for my FPL team. Yeah, Bruno got an assist. He should have got a red card, potentially. I'll speak to you on that after, Luke, see your thoughts on that. Kimberly says, I've seen many people thinking it was unprofessional Clark giving Jules a bollocking on the pitch. I thought it was good to see balls. He's got to face players like that personally, especially when they've shown a lack of respect for the badge on the pitch. And I agree with Kimberly, and I'm going to ask you, Luke, this. So what are your thoughts on managers that sort of... So basically, I'll give you a bit of context to the story. Rotherham United, there was a break in play because there was a medical emergency, and the Rotherham manager started having an argument with Zach Jules, the centre-back that plays for Rotherham, and it really seemed like he really got in his face and give it him large. I like that, me. So I think it was absolutely fantastic. It shows that the manager cares. Those players this season have been a disgrace to the badge. Yeah, they've like some of the performances in any other profession, they would get dismissed for their performance, because it has just been unacceptable. Lazy, and he was lazy again today, poor, and the manager's got up in his face. What are your thoughts, Luke, on managers doing that? Do you like that, or are you not one of those that you think it should be kept away? Because people are giving him stick as well, saying, oh, he shouldn't have done that. That's not fair on the player. I think these players are too mollycoddled these days.
Yeah, it depends fully on sort of who you're using the right on the situation. If it's on an individual error or something and they start going mad at him, then less so much. But if it's, mentality and things like that, the example I think of when I think of situations like that was it was a mid-2000s manager for the one that went out on the pitch and literally the halftime team talk was going like this all through halftime. It was like, I can't remember his name. It was like something Phil Brown, I'm gonna say. I think Phil Brown did something like that.
Yeah, I do recall that.
Like that's the sort of extreme bad version of that. But yeah, it fully depends on if it's something to do with mentality, you absolutely need to call that out and put that player in his place. And heck, at that point, probably hook him. Like, if they're not getting the message, if they're fighting back with you on that, then yeah, hook them.
Yeah, because obviously he seemed to be arguing back with him on the pitch as well. So a guy's just come in the chat, said, yeah, it was Phil Brown for Hull City. I think when they was in the Premier League, wasn't it? He went on the players. I think he dressed them all down.
That was Bullard doing his little celebration after a penalty, I think.
Yeah. For me, I think the manager needs to show the players who's the boss. I think, rightly so, he needs to put them in the place. I mean, this season's been a disgrace, and Zach Jules has been horrendous for Rotherham. Like I said, he shouldn't have even been paid. I want a manager that gives the players some anger, aggression, and some passion. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it also depends on whether because sometimes the manager will do that if he's under pressure. If it's the manager's sort of under pressure and trying to find a scapegoat. But with you saying it's a fairly new manager, I believe, for Rotherham, considering how long it took you to get out. I can't remember what his name was, but you rant about every week. So,
I'm sure
the manager, I'm sure that's it, Matt Amshaw. But, having a manager that's got a fairly new sort of tenure, trying to establish a mentality, considering the situation, obviously already down, you're sort of trying to set things up for next year, trying to send messages. And if you're not up to it, piss off, essentially.
Yeah,
you're trying to get the right mentality drilled into players. It's not like it's, if you saw who's a manager that's under pressure at the moment. No, Burnley just sacked Scott Parker. Don't know. Wolves manager. Let's say the Wolves manager suddenly starts going and doing this. Like, suddenly you go, is this just performative for you here to try and scapegoat someone? Like it fully depends on where the manager is, whether they've been long serving.
Yeah, I mean, the
whether they're
context
under
of the Rotherham
pressure.
manager is the player's out of contract, the manager's out of contract, we're already relegated. So it's a bit of a strange one. Gary Lilly as well says it was Phil Brown at Hull City as well. Yeah, so yeah, somebody else just mentioned that. Agree. John, I can't wait for Toon to stay up so Forest Phil gets egg on his face.
Yeah, that was a bold shout from him. Very bold shout going Newcastle going down. He somehow saw Spurs picking up points. But...
And then he said something about, I've clipped it up anyway because I know it's going to backfire on him. They're not getting any points from Old Trafford. Let me tell you.
I was about to say, I'm pretty certain they're the two that I've commented on recently, was seeing two outrageous hot takes from Phil that I'm going, what is he on about?
Yeah, I don't know if he's been in the sun too much. I don't know what's going on with him, but he's certainly lost the plot. I think it must be a Nottingham thing. So, as I've said, what were your thoughts on their celebrations as well in midweek? It's only half time, but celebrations like they'd won the Champions League final. What was that all about?
Listen, it's a big bit of momentum for them at least. Like you can't say it means nothing. Like it's got them ahead. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe they were they're at home. If it's the away leg, I could understand partying like that. But they do have to journey to Villa Park. Like Forest are normally really good at the City ground and then a bit on the road. So yeah, celebrating a 1-goal win at home like that, less so much. If it was away, I could understand it a little bit more.
Yeah, right. We've got some haters in the comments, so I'm going to address these. This will be quite fun. Okay. So, Cameron Haywood, at least Phil Smith showed up today. I would have liked to have showed up. I would have liked to have sponsored the charity because we offered to sponsor a player. We did sponsor a player, and then we had his money put back and said we're not allowed to sponsor the player. I've been to the stadium and been turned away from the stadium. So Phil Smith may have turned up, yeah? And what? Yeah? What do you want me to turn up when I'm not allowed to go, when we've been refused our charity money? So you're talking absolute pony, Cameron. So sort yourself out, mate. I've give your head a wobble, or it'll drop off. He's been in shipping containers too long. I think that's for Phil.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. So glad you're totally against raising funds for local charities. Why don't you put your hand in your pocket and shirt on that doesn't fit you? But at the same time, ensure someone gets fantastic end-of-life care. I'll tell you what you can do is go to the hospital today and individual sell your flat cap to raise money. So, Craig, you look like you've been burnt in the sun too much, and I can tell why your missus has got glasses because she's asked to sleep with you every night. She want to put a bloody band on her face to stop looking at your face, looking at her. I mean, scary isn't the word. But let me just address something, yeah? We paid money to the charity, £300. So, and it got rejected and it got put back. So, and then we've donated the money anyway to another charity. So I have put his money in his pocket, you little turd. So don't come on here telling me what I should and shouldn't do when I've already done it, you bell end. Yeah? So take your tomato face, get your missus to get some new glasses, but if she does, she'll probably divorce you. Okay? And my flat cap probably costs more than your car. You're a weapon, mate. Sort your life out. So we did try to donate, unless you've been living on the moon. But the football club refused charity money. But we didn't want the charities to suffer, so we still gave them the charity money, and we've sponsored another Rotherham United fan. So take your head out of your arse. Turn up as a new grounds person, yeah. Being told Lee Clark got the job. Yeah, I mean, I was told weeks ago that he got the job. So yeah, I don't know. We were told weeks ago, but everybody come out. You told us Lee Clark had got the job, and he hadn't even know he hadn't got the job yet. So listen, whenever I get it right, you go radio silence. Whenever I get it wrong, you pop up in your thousands moaning about it. So well said, Busher. Yeah, cheers, mate. I'm just sick of these absolute weapons that come on and think, ooh, you put your money in your pocket. I did put my money in my pocket. £300 to sponsor Chris Swales. And then I got told on the day before that they wanted to give me my money back because they don't want us to sponsor a player, despite being said I wasn't banned by the club. Rotherham Gaming's got laughing faces. I think people are quite happy with that guy being roasted. I think his missus does need to go to Specsavers, though, get some specs. His face looked like it was radiant and ready to burn the screen off. Do you know what I mean? I imagine having to wake up to that every morning. No wonder Rotherham's such a bad place. Happy clappers out in force tonight. But yeah, I mean, come on. They're going to happy clap to the bloody conference, these clowns. Do you know what I mean? They're obsessed with, he saved our football club. And I give you an analogy. So it's like somebody saved somebody from jumping off the London Bridge, yeah? And then 4 years later, he goes and stabs 7 people. What, you can't charge him because he saved somebody 4 years ago? That's your mentality. Is that where your standards are in the absolute gutter, yeah? He's neglected this club for 4 years, gone on holiday numerous times when a manager was due to be appointed. Swans off, didn't care. We get relegated. We're relegated again. He let Matt Amshaw bloody destroy the team. We've set us back 3 years. But what do you want us to do? It's crazy. Fair play to you for trying to donate. Yeah, Kimberly. I mean, like I said, I'm going to be the one that gets the stick because obviously I'm rising to these, but I'm passionate about my football club. I love my football club, and I get these people. You don't go to games. You don't do this. I'm not allowed to go to games. I'm banned from the football club. What don't you get of that? Yeah, you want me to go just to get turned away again? Like, what is wrong with you?
For me here, Bushy, they turned down charity money. If they didn't want your name on it or something like that, you could have absolutely have just gone, that's fine, need the player still up to be sponsored, but accept the damn money for charity.
Yeah,
like,
it wouldn't even about
why are
me.
you turning down money for charity?
It's not even just me, it's everybody that represents the podcast. It's not just me, yeah? The gripe is with me. But don't take it out on Tiny, who travels all the country. Don't take it out on everybody else who has supported the football club. You're taking it out on me, and you haven't even told me what I've done anyway. So I just don't get it. Rotherham Gaming, I think he's enjoying it. My blood pressure isn't enjoying it. It sends me insane. We might have saved our club, but we've gone backwards where we are now. Exactly. And this is the thing, Simon. People don't want to hear it. But like I told you, keep your eyes open, because the people that are not standing up are the ones that are getting interviews with players. They're getting invited into the boxes. They're getting this, they're getting that. All of them are getting handouts from the football club. That's why they're doing it, yeah? Because they don't want to ruin their little thing they've got going, yeah? I'm not that person. I don't need any handouts. I've got my own money, my own mind, and my own eyes. And I can tell you now, this football club has been in reverse for 4 years solid, yeah? The ground is rotting, rusting, filthy. The club is run appallingly off the pitch. Players don't want to be there because they're treated badly by their employees. Yeah, you imagine, would you go and want to work at that football club? And all these people that have come to me giving me information all work at the football club. Yeah, they're not people that are just random people. They work at the football club. That's why the club hates me, because these people speak to me because they trust me. Not once have I leaked anybody's name out of who is giving me information at the football club, and not once will I ever will. Yeah, and I have got abuse from pillar to post. I've had people threatening to sexually abuse my children in my inboxes online. It's absolutely disgusting. And these people are here majority of them on fake profiles, they're just absolute jokers. So just leave them to it. We could go down again next season. Bullshit clown running this team. Yeah, totally agree. See, you're so professional. Do you actually talk to? Quite funny listening to you while talking to people who know who you are. But hey, go and slag me off for a while. Insiders, the club are laughing at you. Yeah, people that know who I am. Nobody knows who I am because the people that do know who I am know exactly who I am. But the people you know are on a shit Facebook group that made stories up about me that are all incorrect. But if you want to believe that, Craig, red-faced tomato man, then you believe that. I think I would strongly suggest you go to Specsavers, get your missus a new pair of specs, yeah, and then enjoy your divorce because you're boring me. So think what you want. I couldn't care less, yeah. But yeah, just enjoy your life, mate. You're on my live. You're watching me. I'm not watching you. You're irrelevant. I don't even know who you are. Craig Mitchell. Nobody knows you. You know what I mean? Like, you're irrelevant to this conversation. You're irrelevant. I've got hundreds of people watching. You've got nobody. Actually, not just talking to one of your main investors. Yeah. Okay. You are. Yeah. Sure you are. So, yeah. Again, Craig coming out with utter nonsense. I ain't got any investors, so I don't know what you're talking about, you clown. So, yeah. So you get this, Luke, from somebody, some fans. It's like, I don't know if you get this at sort of Tottenham, but you get a cult of people that are just obsessed with hating on people online. You know, I did a video the other day. I think it's got sort of 60,000 views, something Craig would never get. Nobody's going to want to view his tomato face for 60,000 views, but this guy is just talking utter nonsense. So 109 of nobodies. Yeah, okay. You've probably got about 3 followers, mate. Like, and you're watching me. You sat on a Sunday watching me. That's how embarrassing you are.
But listen, Bushy, you get people like this at all different clubs. I'm sure you find another freaking 10 of these watching Spurs games and watching Spurs lives, and you know you get it all over. It's not like suddenly this is original of people just suddenly going around and going, oh, you don't do this, and then suddenly you say, oh, actually you did try and donate to the charity and they rejected it, and he goes, oh well, you insulted me and my wife, so I'm talking to your investors and stuff. It just goes from nothing for no reason.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just a load of waffle.
Yeah,
like
Kimbliss, in all due respect, Craig, you came on claiming for him to dig his hands in his own pocket. He did try, but you didn't do research before coming on throwing accusations. And I appreciate that, Kimberly. I do really appreciate your support because I get it all the time. And it just does my head in. Like, they don't come on with like serious debate. They come on with utter nonsense or something they've heard on a Facebook page about me. But because it must be true because it's on Facebook. You know what I mean?
And the thing is,
it must be true.
You referenced obviously the thing where people are sending sexual abuse stuff about, about your daughters. And he's not, I don't know if he's going to address that, has he? No, he's just going straight after you immediately. He's not going to be going, oh, I condemn people doing that. Like, yeah, I'm sorry. You can't just continue to hound this man, realize, oh shit, I was wrong. The facts weren't there, and I've decided to just throw shade at this man. No, you've then ignored the negative stuff that's happened to this man as well.
Yeah, that people don't care though, because the thing is, they would be in uproar if it was them being refused to sponsor a charity. They would be in uproar, and they'd expect everybody to support. Because it's me, you want to celebrate it, you want to celebrate that, but end of the day, I'm used to it. Like I can take the hate and whatever, and you can think that people know me, and that you can think that you've read something on a Facebook supporters page that is just full of weirdos. If you want to believe that, you're entitled to do it. That's freedom of speech. I'm not really bothered. Like, I don't care. So yeah, that's the way it is. I've had sort of 2 Osmond warnings, threat to my life, threat to my children's life, all for doing a podcast. You know, that's just the way it is. Yeah, you may not agree with what I said. I'm not saying what I say is almighty and all the truth. It's just my thoughts and my feelings and everything else. And like, people don't know the stuff. A lot of these people that come on and do that, and then you go in the profile and the bio, and they're talking about men's mental health, and they don't give a shit about men's mental health because they come on abusing people on here. They don't think about my mental health. What, they think I'm a robot or something that just can take abuse every single day just because I've got a different opinion to somebody. That's where I'm at with it. Craig Mitchell's back. Threatening your family is wrong. End of. Oh, thank you, Craig. At least we agree on that, because, like I said, that's what I've had to put up with, and I just, for me, that's what I've had to live with for many years, from a lot of Rotherham supporters. But it is what it is. I'm tired of it. The thing is, people can disagree. Lee provides a podcast with free speech, which this channel is so great, and we're allowed to be on his show. Football is a great sport to allow freedom. Yeah, and that's the total thing. So I allow anybody to come on my show. Yeah, I've put the link in the description for anybody to join the show at any stage. Yeah. So Craig, if you want to come on and proper debate me, and if you don't like me, come on and give me a proper debate. I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to have you on my platform. I'm happy to have anybody that disagrees with me. Because if you can change my mind, then fantastic. But when I speak, I've been face to face with Kev Johnson. When I went to the pub, he said he disagreed with me. When we come face to face at the Blackpool game, he said he actually agrees with everything I said. Yeah. So, and then sometimes if you don't agree with it, sometimes you don't have to agree with it. You just get on with it. But yeah, absolutely. You're more than welcome to come on. Why would people threaten you and your family? That's wrong, mate. I'm with you on that. But why should individuals be targeted for pumping strange amounts of money into the hospital? No, I'm not saying he can't put money into the hospital. You're getting it mistaken. For me, I just think, yeah, pump the money into the football club, but why are you coming on the pitch? Yeah, it's a disrespect to my football club. That is, I'm standing on that. I don't mind the young lad. I think it was Jenkinson's brother, because that was part of the charity to come on the pitch. But you don't make it all about yourself, no matter how much money you put in there. Yeah. Because I donated the money without anything. Yeah, I don't need the recognition. Yeah, donate the money. The hospice does a fantastic job, and I support everybody. And I had a lovely message from the hospice when they said they couldn't accept the money for that. I had a lovely message, because they said to me, "Look, we've got patients in our hospital that watch your show, and it cheers them up." And that, to me, is the reason why I do it, because I think, wow, that's amazing. Like, that touched my heartstrings, because I think people that are really struggling in life, and they look out to watch my show, and I think that's absolutely fantastic, and I couldn't care less. So yeah, Craig, I'm up for it. Yeah, Craig, anytime you want to come on, let me know. Send me a direct message. I'll send you a link for the next show, because we're due to finish this show. But like I said, I'm happy to chat to anybody, and anything that you think you know about me, if it's true, I will say it's true. Because the one thing with me is I'm very honest. Yeah, I did a show about my mental health. where I struggled with addiction. I had a gambling addiction. I had a sex addiction. I had all this, yeah. I'm not a perfect man, yeah. I don't claim to be perfect, yeah. But what I do is I give a platform to people to give honest opinions, and that's all I do. How do I contact you? So if you just send a message on the Facebook page, I get that. Or I think it looks like you're on Facebook, Craig. Just drop a comment on one of my posts. I think it'll come through on this anyway, and I'll contact you and we'll have you on. It's not a problem. Like I said, I'm here to. I'm a Rotherham United fan, whether you like it or not. A lot of things are said about me. The majority of people will tell you. When they do actually speak to me, I'm not how they expect me to be. But the fact is, I didn't say he shouldn't be sponsoring the charity. I think making it about him coming on as player was embarrassing. And that's my opinion. You may disagree with that, but that's nothing to do with stopping money going to the charity. You're getting it twisted. So I would never stop money going to the charity. It's a wonderful charity. And I supported the charity more than you know, Craig. So I did help Kev try and get players to the charity as well. So I have got a lot of contacts in the game. So I did help to do that. Mate, I don't dislike you and I'm glad to chat. Yeah, no worries, mate, Craig. Like I said, and sometimes I do, like I said, I apologise about you sort of going at you personally. It's just I do get a lot of this all the time, and it does frustrate me. And I just blow my top. I'm a passionate person, but at the end of the day, I'm a Miller. I love the football club, and yeah, I'm happy to chat with anybody. Excellent show as always, Bushy. Love the show. And people, Turbo from Ben's great show. Yeah. Yeah, Lee isn't a total. Lots of family and friends words I can't say. Lee has a bad reputation, but deserves an opportunity to prove otherwise. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care what people think about me. You can think I'm a twat. You can think this. You can think that. But end of the day, that's life, isn't it? Not everybody's going to get along. Not everybody's going to agree with stuff you say. But if you can debate somebody and then agree to disagree, or maybe you can turn somebody's opinion. But like I say, have a fair debate about it, but don't start sort of going on about people that know you, this, that, and the other, because a lot of the people that are saying they know me online don't know me. You know what I mean? So, and their stories are recollections of stuff that have been said by ex-partners, people that have had axe to grinds with me. If you see it on Facebook, it's not always real. In fact, 99% of it won't be real. So there you go. So we're going to wrap this up. We've got quite a lot watching, Luke. I do appreciate you coming as well. Is the Spurs score still the same?
No, it changed. It did become 2-1 in the 96th minute, but it is full time. So we did get the win. No clean sheet. Another sort of late goal.
So West Ham have got into the bottom three then.
Yep, we're 1 point above them, and you know Phil's not going to be happy to hear this, but they are 3 points above the drop.
Yeah, so
they do have the goal difference advantage. But
yeah, exactly.
If West Ham and Spurs kick on,
I do still stand strong that I think Nottingham Forest will get relegated. I said it after they've gone on this run of form, but I expected them to win the games they've won, really. Probably one of the games that they won that I didn't expect them to. But other than that, I did expect them to win the games they did. Now this is the period where I don't think they will. I think they'll lose to Chelsea. I think they lose to Man United. Who else have they got? They've
got Newcastle at the City Ground, and then final day they've got Bournemouth at the City Ground. Bournemouth, who are in the hunt for Europa League.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be very difficult for Forest to stay up, in my view. What are your thoughts, Luke? Because obviously your team are in the real midst of it.
Well, we're in the best form of 2026 we've been in. We're currently, we were on the best form 2026 anyway, of a 1-game winning streak. Now it's a 2-game winning streak. But again, it's against the reserve team and the team that are bottom of the league. Next up, we got Leeds. Leeds are in pretty fine form themselves. So, I mean, the Spurs fans will be up for it at home. We're finally winning. The manager's got things clicking, but how much of that is down to the kind schedule and the kindness of Unai Emery? So, we will see. The other 2 games, we never do well at Stamford Bridge. I think we've only won there maybe once or twice in about something like 20 years. And final day against Everton. Everton are going to have something to fight for Europe, most likely. So it's up in the air. It's just how much of this current form is truly Spurs being, quote, back or doing good, and how much of this is just the poor players that have been put in front of them the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, fair enough. I still think Forest are going down. So, Phil, get ready. Forest fans, obviously, I know I've upset you guys. I'm getting a lot of messages from you. But you shouldn't be celebrating like that. I'm sorry, but you shouldn't. It's half time. And Villa were going to spank.
Do you think them reaching the Europa League final would be the worst thing that could happen to them?
Yeah.
Do you think they focus too much on the Europa League? I mean, who are they potentially facing the other side of the draw? Do we know? I don't know who the other final is. Can't remember.
I'm not really sure because I don't, like I say, it's the virtual trophy of the. It's the virtual trophy of the Premier League, isn't it? It's like a cup that. I mean, Spurs won it. Tells you how bad.
I was about to say it was a big deal for us. I was in the Spurs stadium at the time. Obviously not in Bilbao, but the Spurs stadium was absolutely electric that night. People invading the pitch and everything.
The real Phil Smith says, "How did Spurs win? Pressure is still on us." And Leeds, they're safe. Phil.
Yeah, Leeds are safe. Leeds play Spurs and West Ham. Yeah, I mean, West Ham don't have an easy fixture list.
I think it's between
West
Forest,
Ham play.
But I think there's only between 1 or 2. I don't think Spurs are going to go down. I think it's between West Ham and Forest for me.
With the 3 points between the 2 teams, Bushy, I know you're saying Forest go down. West Ham need 4 points realistically from these 3 games. Because it's 3 points and a massive. It's 3 points. No, I'm talking to Forest now though. But West Ham are 3 points behind and 15 goal difference behind. They play Arsenal, Newcastle at St James's, and Leeds final day. Do you see them getting 4 points? That's the only reason I won't say, like, when I've seen people saying, "Oh, Forest might get dragged back into this." I think the fact that it's goal difference is that 5-0 the other week is a big difference maker.
I honestly think Forest lose every game.
It's just whether West Ham can pick up 4 and whether we can pick up another win, and then that's the way it is. Is if Spurs win, if West Ham win and draw, then Forest go down. That's the route that it would take. It's just whether West Ham can get a point against Arsenal and then beat even Newcastle or Leeds.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, we're going to wrap up then now. Hang on, just some message. Braga or S, they're the other teams that have at the other end of the draw. So yeah, we're going to wrap up. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for Luke for jumping on as well onto the live. Like I said, these shows on Sunday are live shows that people can jump on. Appreciate John as well, who jumped on earlier. Came to talk on about Newcastle, ended up talking about Rotherham, but yeah, absolutely fantastic show again. This is Tom's show normally, so obviously Tom couldn't be with you, so that's why I've jumped on tonight to help Tom out, because this was the final Slate show, so for the season before we go into World Cup content, which is going to be really good. I'm really looking forward to that. Football's coming home. We hope.
We can hope. We can hope.
Yeah, super. So
but if we can't beat Japan, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. Thanks, Bushy, for a great show, mate. Yeah, no problem. Dave, thank you for tuning in. I forgive you. Lee, laugh out loud. Yeah, forgive everybody. So, yeah, cheers, guys, for tuning in. Thank you. Good numbers for a Sunday, actually, to be fair. And to say that I didn't have no script whatsoever tonight because I got chucked in last minute. So, I think it did okay, to be fair. And another one, awesome show, mate. Yeah, cheers, appreciate that. So yeah, like I said, up the Millers, up Man United. They're in the Champions League next season. Who'd have thought it when you were lifting that trophy, Spurs?
Yeah, how things changed.
The season after, and you all laughed at me, didn't you, when I said Man United will finish in the top 3?
I mean, I wasn't in there for that, but I would have probably also laughed. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm not going to pretend otherwise.
But I am going to tell you, I have been completing a video of that show to play back to you all, and there's going to be some nice shorts going out soon about my discussion about Sesko and Man United finishing in the top 3, and Phil telling me Forest were going to finish above Man United.
Don't forget Carl was doubling down on that as well. Let's not forget that. It wasn't just a one-way street on that. He was going to also take you with that bet.
Bushy's gone mad. Bushy's crazy. Mate, my football knowledge, these eyes don't lie. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I've just got a gift for it. And the Bradford fans, yeah, I predicted your score right on the predictions. So, yeah, appreciate your comments as well, saying Bushy knows his stuff. He certainly does, man. He certainly does. I ain't got an ego, though, so don't be getting excited with Phil because he thinks I've got an ego. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, goodbye.